Hey, what goes on, guys? We're back here again with another review, and today we're going to be taking a look finally at the Marvel Legends Disney Plus What If Marvel Studios Marvel's Captain Carter. I couldn't find this one anywhere. Apparently this is like the hardest one to find out of the wave. I got all the other ones that I wanted from the wave so far, and I have reviews of all of them. I did the Zombie Captain America, which I have right here. He's my favorite desk figure at the moment. We have T'Challa Star-Lord, which is also a great figure, and I did get the Doctor Strange Supreme because that was my favorite episode thus far. Season 2 at the time of this recording was just revealed like 2 days ago. I'm not super hyped, to be honest. I feel like the show's ending was kind of lackluster. I like the whole concept of having individual one-off stories. I hate the fact that Marvel thinks it always has to build to a bigger grand story. I don't know. Sometimes I just like a simple story, and these one-off stories were really nice, and I appreciated them. So, I don't know. Let me know what you guys thought of the show down in the comments. I'm interested to see what you guys would say. But talking about this figure here, this was the one I wanted second most. So, Captain America, any kind of character, I'm gonna want it. And if Zombie Captain didn't exist, she would have been number one. But you get the shield. You see everything there. It says "What If Marvel's Captain Carter." I really don't know another Captain Carter that isn't Marvel's. On the side, I love the artwork, or still from the show. Looks good there, nice and broad. I love it. It looks great. Here is the read-up if you guys were interested in that. On the bottom, really nothing going on. The barcode, like I said, it got everybody else that I want. I don't care about this one, or especially this one. So I don't care about any of those. I've seen them all, but I don't really want them. On the other side, same thing. And then you get Watu, or I guess just the Watcher, whatever, which I'm not building. I sold all the pieces, and these will go up on my Mercari if you guys are interested. But yeah, without further ado, I think it's time to go ahead and crack her open. So let's go and do that. So taking Peggy out of the box, I gotta say, she's pretty awesome, but there are a couple things that are less than ideal and a little frustrating, which is a little disappointing, but overall, I still think it's a very strong release. So just going right into it, one thing that I do not have a problem with is that gorgeous head sculpt. I think this is the best, I guess second best, because that Doctor Strange was really good. Like animated head that they did, I think it looks just like it did in the show. I really like it. The face print on there is actually very clean. The hair sculpt looks really nice. Looks just like it did in the show. I really, really like that. The lip paint, like it has like a black line in the middle. Man, they really went all out on the head sculpts on these guys, because I think they dropped the ball on the Tom Holland head, or I guess the animated Spider-Man head. Wasn't too big a fan of that one, but this looks good. Going down into the body, the paintwork for the most part is pretty clean, but there's some, another coat of white would have been nice there on the emblem. She has like the scratch like right on her boobs, which kind of sucks. On the back, it does paint all the way on the back, and this is accurate to the show. I love to see that. I like the silver and the brown on the arms. You get like that red that goes around the bicep, that little bit of red and white on the inside of the forearm, which is nice. There's a little bit of red there, which I'm not too big a fan of. And the brown gloves and glove cuffs. Not too much paint on the bottoms. You get the with the red here, which looks pretty cool. And then you get the boots that don't have any paint. I think silver would have been nice on these buckles, because I'm pretty sure they're like that in the show. Not the end of the world, but just something I would have liked to see. Overall, I think there's a good amount of paint. And obviously, this is all new sculpt, and it's incredibly accurate. I think her chest or like shoulders could have been a little bit more broad. I ripped the box open, but I still do have it here. If you look on here, if I move the camera up a little bit, you can see that it's like really broad-shouldered. The figure doesn't do that completely, but definitely better than your average female Marvel Legends. So I think overall it still really works, and I like the build of the figure. And like I said, it is a new sculpt. So let's go ahead and take a look at what she comes with, because it's not much, but it is worth mentioning, especially for considering it's probably more new than you would think. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Just for consistency's sake, I thought I'd go ahead and mention the Watu Arms, because I guess the Watcher, I'm sorry I keep saying a Watu. I don't know if he's considered a Watu in this universe, but whatever. She comes with both of his arms, which is unusual for Marvel Legends, but I think it's because the Nebula came with the cape piece, and they made that its own piece from the body. I don't really know. I don't really care, because this is not a great figure in my opinion. But you do see here, You get like the big sleeve, but it's kind of stupid because if you were to articulate it at all, it looks dumb and only looks good in a downward position or like maybe like right there. But like anything further than that just looks stupid because it kicks out like that. I forget what other figure was like that, but it's kind of stupid. It's solid. It's a very solid piece. And, you know, I guess it'll look cool if you want to build a Watu. And then on the left arm, you get like the naked arm. You get this band that does have like sculpting rivets around the whole side. Big hand. Pinless, cool. Don't really care. I'm not going to be using that, but I just thought I'd show them off. Again, they will be up for sale on my Mercari if anyone is interested. Link in the bio on my Instagram. But with my shameless plug done for my Mercari, here you can see the shield, which is awesome, but I think I have a little bit of a paint scuff, which is so annoying, but not that big a deal. I'm not going to whine and cry about it. No bitching around here, but yeah, I think it looks super awesome. It's white on the inside. They do have the straps. Now, one thing I do have to say is her wrist pegs are really thin and wobbly, so be careful when you're using that, when you pull them out or whatever. I usually like to pull out the hand, stick the arm through, and then plug the hand in on the other side, but just be careful. I also have it on the outside because the grip is way too loose to hold the actual strap. So, you know, it's not that big a deal because you can't see her hand, and that's fine. It is a different sculpt because it is smaller than a regular Captain America shield. Just for instance, here it is next to the zombie cap shield, which is the standard MCU shield, and it's definitely smaller, but I think that's accurate to the show. But yeah, looks pretty sick nonetheless. I really like it, and I like its clean paintwork, you know, with the British flag on there. It just looks awesome on the shelf. Like, if I was to design Captain Carter, like if Marvel was to come up to me and say design Captain Carter, this is probably what I would have came up with on my own, so, or something very similar to it. So I really like that. But let's go ahead and see what she looks like next to a couple other figures, because I think her scale is really cool. Right before we get to scale, I'm sorry, I kind of skipped over the articulation segment, but I definitely want to talk about the articulation to the head. Doesn't really move out much, but that's no surprise considering the big hair that she has there, swivel side to side, and a good pivot because she just had the dumbbell. So I think it's good enough articulation for a character like Captain Carter. The shoulders are going to move outwards that far, down, rotate 360, double jointed pinless elbows, and a bicep swivel. That's freaking awesome. Wrist swivel and hinge. But the hinge on the hands, like I said, is kind of wobbly, so I would definitely be careful. Like, it's a little thin, so just be careful with that. You do get a good diaphragm joint. It does rotate. She actually crunches forward. Not too bad. I think that's pretty far for a female figure. Back, not so much. Like I said, rotation. So you can get her in all good poses. I like that. The hips only move outwards that far. She'll kick forward only that far, which is kind of weak. Back, not at all. You do get a thigh rotation, double jointed pinless knees, which look great. No boot rotation, but you do get a rotation at the top of the ankle, and then it goes down. Up, not so much, which kind of causes a problem for standing. It's kind of hard to get her to stand, but she does have a good pivot. So, yeah, I think overall the articulation, this is the standard for female articulation, I believe. I think this is what female articulation needs to be like from now on. I mean, all articulation, but especially the females. They need some more love, man. But recently, Hasbro's been killing it with the female figures, so really happy to say that I really like her articulation. But as promised, let's go ahead and take a look at her next to some other figures, because I think her scale is pretty awesome, and there's some people that you definitely need to see her next to. So taking them all together, I put the comic book 80th anniversary Alex Ross Captain America, and then for another what if comparison, I put her next to the zombie cap. She is a little bit shorter than the zombie cap. He's a little bit posed. But she's not like too much shorter, which I like that. That's pretty accurate. So I think that looks pretty cool. And then she is not a lot, but decently shorter than the 80th anniversary cap. But again, that's a comic book figure. The MCU figures tend to go a little bit smaller in scale, but it's not that big a deal. But the big comparison that I know we all want to see is her to her lover, the Hydra Stomper. Now, this was a pair that I was really excited to make. Ever since like the show, I really wanted to see these two figures made and put together, and I gotta say, it was pretty much worth the wait. Like, these look super nice together. She does not stand very good at all, which is really frustrating, but just kind of like really gotta move her ankles up. But yeah, that is sick. I still think this is a little small. But honestly, I mean, if you want it to be $50, you know, it can't be too underly priced and too overly big. So I think it works. Now, Dwight always talked about the feature that they had where you take this and you see this handle here, right? So you take Captain Carter. Let me see if I can get a hold of her, or if this will stand up. You got to get the Captain Carter and pull her hand out. Put the shield in the other hand like this. Not too crazy, and then take her hand and grab onto this little handle here, which is a kind of a loose fit. And then her feet, I think, go here. I could be wrong, but I think her feet are supposed to go on these little pedals right here, and then she grabs onto the end, and you can have her riding the Hydra Stomper, which I took some cool pictures, better angled. It's a little bit difficult to get her because, like I said, to get her holding on, because like I said, it's a little bit of a loose fit, but once you get her on, I think that looks pretty sick them together. So I like the way that looks. Again, I think, and I'm definitely going to have her like just posed on his back, I think. Maybe have him in the background. I'm not really sure, but I think he is a little bit too small, but not enough to annoy me. So yeah, it looks pretty awesome. But, you know, I think the hand should have been a little bit of a tighter grip, but that could just be mine. I don't think it is, but it could just be mine. So yeah, anyway, looks good next to her man. I guess if you want to call this a man, looks good to her little boy. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at final thoughts. So I know it's that point of the video where I know you guys are asking yourself, yo, Ant, what are you thinking of this fig? And I'm not going to lie, I might be a little bit let down. The ankles really piss me off. Like, she is very difficult to stand, and she shouldn't be difficult to stand. Her boots, the boots cuffs aren't even the problem. It's just the way that they sculpted the ankle joint to where it's really hard to move forward, and she's just really hard to stand. Other than that, from like the ankle up, she's pretty much perfect. Again, be careful with the wrists. I love the paint, love the colors, love the design. I mean, but the design is more so on What If itself rather than the Hasbro, but overall still awesome. And getting her posed up with Hydra Stomper was a lot of fun. So if I was to give this figure a rating, I would definitely give this figure like a 7 out of 10. I think that it could use a little bit more work. But yeah, 7 out of 10 I think is fair for this figure. It had the potential to be so much more, but those ankles really suck. And I just think that the hand is a little too loose. Just a bunch of little stuff, but overall still a very strong release. And I'm still very, very happy to have it. But with all that being said, I think that is all I have for today. So do yourself and me a favor and go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. We are doing a giveaway at 300 subscribers. I have 3 items up for, you know, debate on whatever we want to give away. And I will do a poll at the end of the week on Friday. So stay tuned for that. I'll be doing a poll on YouTube and on Instagram. So if you're not following me, go follow me on Instagram because that is going to be one of the requirements. I'm going to do a whole video about what the giveaway is going to be about. But anyway, that's all I got for today. So with that being said, let me know. You coppin'? You going to pick her up? I definitely think you still should despite its problems. But let me know if you're picking it up and leave a comment down below because I respond to everything. But with that being said, I'll see you on the next video. Peace out.